Did you know that there are secrets in photography that not many people know about? My name is Lotta and I've been a portrait photographer for many years, and today I'm going to be sharing some secrets, tips and tricks that I think every portrait photographer should know. I think a lot of the art of photography is not necessarily on the technical side, but way more about how the photographer interacts with their subject, specifically in portrait photography. People's faces are full of micro-expressions, and their body language can say a lot about how comfortable they feel in front of your camera. And that will in turn show up in your photographs. This is especially visible when you're photographing children because they don't really hide their feelings towards you. So at first they can often be reserved and shy, but once they deem you trustworthy, they can be a lot more open and fun and a lot less reserved and shy. Adults can hide their discomfort a little better than children, but still it will show up in your images, and it's a really good skill to have under your belt to make people comfortable. And while you're making your subject comfortable, don't forget about yourself. Making yourself comfortable can be a huge game changer for your whole session. I mean, do you ever see an athlete making their record-breaking attempt without a warm-up first? The first 5 minutes of a shoot can be scary and tough sometimes, but take some time, settle in, let your subject know that you're doing some warm-up that will take the pressure off of them and the pressure off of you. But also, don't disregard the warm-up shots. Sometimes they can be the most relaxed and fun, and definitely take them into consideration when you're doing your final edit. Taking a portrait of somebody is quite an intimate situation to be in, and there's a lot of psychology involved. Something I just recently learned is that your impulse to compliment your model might actually end up making them feel more uncomfortable. The reason for this is that they're already so aware that they're being photographed and that they're being watched and observed, and making a comment about their appearance, even if it's something positive, might actually make them even more self-aware. A great alternative is to comment on something else, like for example, "Oh, I love this lighting," or "This background looks so good, that was a good choice." That will kind of shift their focus away from themselves and make them realize that you're happy with what's going on, but they're not the whole focus of it. The words we use in these situations really have a huge impact on how somebody feels in front of our camera and how natural they look in our photographs. Do you find yourself Googling the best poses for couples? I definitely did that a lot when I started out, but I since have shifted my approach to something that works a little better, especially for people who aren't professional models. Just use prompts instead of poses. With posing, you might be putting people in stiff, stagnant, maybe even unnatural positions. If you give a prompt instead, even a simple one, you can catch glimpses of their real self as they try to follow your prompts. A popular prompt for couples that works basically every time is "Act drunk and walk towards me." This will almost always end up with some real, natural, silly photos of people just having fun. They know it's silly, you know it's silly, but it works every time, especially for people that claim they're not good on camera. And if you have a single subject, maybe try giving them a math problem. You might get the full spectrum of human emotion, from confusion to frustration to relief to full laughter when they figure out they're wrong. Just starting out, it's very natural to want a shallow depth of field for all of your portraits. It's beautiful, it's professional, and who does not love a beautiful, smooth bokeh? But it's worth looking at each session and seeing what you want to achieve. There may be reasons why you would want to stop that lens down and expand your focal range, whether that be to get more of the background in or have more aspects of their face in focus. If you're photographing just one person and you really want that soft focus, feel free to shoot at 1.2. But if you're photographing more than one person, consider shooting at something higher, like maybe 5.6, to make sure that everybody's in focus. And even at higher apertures, I promise you'll still have some pretty bokeh in the back. I know it can be intimidating to watch other photographers use gear that you have no idea about, but there's nothing you can't learn. And expanding your skill set is always a good thing. Whether that be learning how to use flash, or experimenting with other creative techniques, or just trying different styles of photography. Don't pigeonhole yourself into a niche and stay flexible. Whenever we get a new camera, we might watch a few videos, we may even read the manual, but most of us end up just muddling through and using only the buttons that we want to use. But I encourage you, spend an afternoon really investigating your gear. Learn about all the special functions your camera might be capable of. Play around with different modes, different settings, or dive deeper into tutorials about your specific camera. You'll never really know what your gear is capable of unless you push it to its limits. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you learned something today, or maybe just found a new spark of inspiration. What are your secrets? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what else you might want to learn about.